Let's go. All right, Twitch, say hi to YouTube. YouTube, say hi to Twitch. Let's go. You already know how it is. This is going on the tube. This is recorded right now. Let's go. This is round 6 of the candidates. Of course, you already know how that game went or how the games went. If you've seen them, if you haven't, cool, we're here. Auburn Knight, thanks for the 5-piece. Let's go. Big boy energy there. Let's match that. Everybody put command 5 in the chat. Any wins, you have to see right now, Quantum. If you haven't seen anything, you're going to see right now. We're not going to spoil it, but we're going to say that there was a lot of action, and this is Hikaru versus Ding. So round 6, Auburn Knight, thanks for that 5-piece in the biscuit. I appreciate you. So e4, e5, right? Knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. So we got an Italian game, knight f6, d3. Very easy stuff, very solid. I mean, honestly, this is just the theory. Nothing, honestly, to even talk about. This is just straight up theory. Castles, rook e1, a5, h3, h6. There's nothing new here. This is played 1,000 billion times. Knight b to d2, bishop e6, still theory. Bishop e5, oh man, that's a new move. No, it's not, it's theory. Queen to b8, I love this idea. I actually really love this idea. I think, honestly, from the black side here, this is an idea that I think you and all of us should actually pay a lot of attention to. Ding has played this same idea twice. I think twice already. He's played this with Duda as well. I think there was Duda game where Duda was like, I didn't know what I was doing, bro. He was like, I didn't know what I was doing, bro. Like, it was the game with, he was like, I mean, look, it happens, right? Even at that level, right? So, but Queen to b8, he did the same thing in that game. So, I like how Ding just stayed consistent. And, like, this is, the idea here is to put pressure down this diagonal, but also deter at d4. Or if you do play d4, it's going to be pressure there a long time. This is an idea that I don't see a lot. So, I actually really like this Queen b8 move. But let's flip the board here and let's see what Hikaru does. So, he takes on c6. Takes and then d4, so he strikes in the center, very nice, right, allowing that. But then bishop goes back after taking twice, takes or taking once, bishop e6, and you are going to see this pressure down this diagonal, which is interesting. Sound like me playing, sound like you, huh? Wesley, yeah, was Wesley's teaching the entire game. Interesting, Quantum. Now, yeah, this is a pretty nice system. I like that he does this. So a4, right, a4 locks down the bishop, but also the pawn, I mean, because you can also have ideas like this that you'll even see in the Roy Lopez in reverse, with meaning white playing a5, and for the bishop from b3 goes to a4 to attack the knight. So a4, it does gain space as well, right? It's a nice move. I'm curious, what is the engine like? Because I know it probably was not a4, but I'm curious to see what the engine wanted. Knight f1, queen c2, okay, whatever. b3, that's a target. I mean, b3 is like asking to get a4'd. Okay. a4, rook e8, rook a3. Oh, that was the idea, the rook lift. Shift and lift. All right, big fella, do you even rook lift? Oh, that sounds like my merch. Wow, that just came up. It's like out of nowhere. There it is. Do you even rook lift? Shop Canty merch. Crazy, that's nuts. Crazy how it just come up like that. Rook a3. So, right, rook a3. And he about to just rook lift this boy. And when I saw this, I remember looking at this and thinking, in knight f1, move this. I mean, it's a long way. But move the knight, move the rook, go for mate. Like, immediately. Because that's just how I think, right? Shout out to Grandfather Tao one time. Right? That's how I think. You know, sack first, think later, like Grandfather Tao says. So I'm like ready. I'm literally ready, bro. You know, but okay, queen a7, he goes for the same idea. Attack the pawn. Knight f1, we defend, right? And we also trying to move this too, but we got to defend. It's kind of hard. Like, you can't move this knight, defend this pawn, and get this rook over here at the same time. If you do bishop e3, well, then you got 2 pieces now you have to move to rook lift. So the rook lift is actually really hard to do, and there's pressure on the d pawn, which puts us in a slight dilemma. You push the pawn, you take on f2. What do? You resign, right? It's a wrap, like GG. So it's actually weird. It's a weird position that happens here. What happens? d5, so he locks it down, locks this pawn in place. Very strong. This is the candidates. This high-level chess. e5, knight e4, highest of the high-level chess here, guys. Like, I mean, this pawn is here. This is a target. You can't swing it over like you want to. That's so hard. How do I get this? How do I get out of this? I need to move this knight. This is annoying. Wow, I don't like this that much. Interesting. He went knight 1 to d2. Okay, so knight 1 to d2, bishop f5. Rook e2, he just had to maneuver. Maybe this might be knight. Yeah, the pieces just don't feel right. I mean, maybe takes bishop f4, rook d2. Then move the knight, then... Oh, man, there's just like so many moves, bro. Rook a to d8, knight b3. I can't... I mean, it's whatever. c5, Felt like black just was better coordinated. He was just better coordinated. And I mean, he tried. Hikaru tried. You got the white pieces, you have to try. Like, you literally have to try. He has the white pieces, he tried, and it's just hard. I mean, Ding the Ren is 2,800. I mean, you're not about to just crush this man. So knight d4, bishop d7. Yeah, black's easier to play. Great job. Great analogy there, Anita, or observation. You're actually right. Yes, it is. I think black's just easier to play. I mean, his pieces are all developed on great squares. White, I mean, we have something. We have to, bishop definitely doing our thing. Knight, and this rook's kind of misplaced. What is he really doing? Is he really going to rook lift over here? When the knight is blocking stuff. It's discoordination for sure. The harmony in black's pieces is just better. But of course it's still equal. Takes. We take knight d4. Now I feel a little bit better here. He's sacrificing a pawn. What's the intention, bro? Shoot. Gotta make okay, tactics. What is it? Oh, rook c2. Sheesh. Rook c2, knight c6. Here's the idea. Rook takes, rook c2, knight c6 wins in exchange. Engine says even bishop f4. Sheesh. Oh my goodness. Bishop f4? Oh, he just wins the piece because knight takes f5. But this so this is probably just winning in exchange, right? Rook c2, and he plays queen e7. Queen e7? Really? Queen e7. Interesting. That's what they say. Queen e7. E7. Interesting. Okay. Queen e8 takes, and they still give like slightly better. Bro, the engine be tripping, bro. Like, there's a whole exchange. Like, what are you talking about? Bruh. It's like crazy. Knight d4. Okay, so bishop f4, queen e7. Knight b5. With knight takes intentions. Yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough. We're gonna try, but it's just don't feel like enough, right? We can't take this. What up? Oh, he going there, huh? Wait, but then back? What are you gonna do? He took it. He did. He captured that. Yeah. I'm like, hold up, bro. So pawn is a pawn, my guy. And then he got up out the way. Knight, bishop d2. d4, that's a very annoying pass d pawn. I remember seeing this at the end of the game, actually. Rook a3, getting back, trying to swing over. Finally, with the queen, the rook to swing over. There it is. d3. Okay, now now you got to pay attention, like for real. When the pawn get this close, you really got to start paying attention. Rook e1, he took on b5. Queen g4 doesn't work, obviously, because of the knight. But queen h5 with the intention of definitely going bishop h6. He takes on b2 and says, I dare you to take it. So he takes it, and it's still equal here. d2 happens, and rook to d1. No, but he didn't go queen c2. But that doesn't even attack anything. It doesn't attack anything. I mean, this was a clean draw, bro. Like, rook d5. He sacked, and he just went in for a perpetual. This pawn is too far advanced. White never really got the advantage he was looking for. And so he sacked, and then they just checked it up. Check it up. Check into oblivion. And that was a draw. I mean, it looked like it was going to be something fire, like something real cool. Some spectacular chess there, but it really wasn't anything. And, I mean, Ding defended like an absolute beast, and Hikaru pushed. He did exactly what he could. He didn't want to take any like, serious risks, though, which could have cost him to take a L there or something catastrophic. Ding played perfect defense. I mean, he did, man. You can only do so much there. But, I mean, hey, Ding 2,800. I mean, you would like to win with white, but, of course, it's Ding 2,800. Okay, whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. Cool. We get through the game. That's a draw. Next game, this was a draw. Timur Rajabov and Richard Rapport. This was a crazy game. Crazy game. E4. Of course, what else you going to get, right? It's Richard Rapport. Like, you know you about to get a crazy game. And Rajabov, who's like a nuts. He's a nice calculator with tactics and King's Indian player. Knight c6, knight c3. We got a Taimanov, which we've seen this already. Richard Rapport, Taimanov. That draw with Fabi, right? That was a crazy draw. Queen a5, bishop b4. Y'all remember that with the pawn on a3? You remember that? That was nuts. What up, Pro Classic? What's good with you? So, it was like absolutely bananas. Knight takes, pawn takes, and queen d3. This is still theory. I remember this theory. d5, queen g3. Ideas like developing, casting queen side, and being annoying. I'm not a fan of this for white. h5 is a nice move. I like this. I like this from black a lot. This is that aggressive stuff. I mean, Richard Rapport comes up with crazy ideas all the time. h4, pawn to d4, hitting the knight. Obviously, we got to move it, so he goes back to b1. Okay, knight to b1, knight f6, e5 hits the knight. Knight e4, attacking the queen, which is really strong because after queen f3, you just defend it, but then he goes bishop d3, attacks the knight. This is like crazy stuff, like very dynamic. Check, king f1. You see, sometimes you even see the king on e2. There are very strange lines like this. Very common. F5, en passant. Knight takes F6. Bishop G6 is a check. King D7. King D7 happens. Bishop G5. Nice development. He says you can take. And if you do take, okay, cool. Yes, I'm doubled, but whatever. I have the open G file. These are hard to get to. I'm not the biggest fan of this position with white, but I mean, even the engines like Bishop D6, they prefer black, but it's zeros now after thinking, but equal to say the least. He didn't want any of that. Rook F8. This got spicy. I mean, this got really spicy. I mean, from black's point of view, because I love Sicilian. I literally love playing the Sicilian all the time. So C3, right? And on different Sicilians too. So after the C3, bishop to D6. He gets out of the way, stopping this. C takes D4. Queen takes D4. This is crazy. He didn't develop. Knight C3, but this is because of obviously Knight E4, Knight G4. Knight C3, probably Knight G4, right? Gotta look out for this, right? Yeah, it's just winning. Knight G4, Bishop F8 is defending the rook. F2, all of this going on right here. Queen hit as well. You in trouble. That's the whole idea. So he gets off of it. Queen C3. And I was, you have to look at sacrifices here. Obviously, it's not working. You don't have enough pieces developed. Maybe if the bishop on D5, maybe. That's why he's on you funny. Maybe, right? But okay. Refresh. Queen D1. Did he check him here or he take? I don't remember. Maybe he went back. He captured. Oh, and then he went rook B8. Yeah, rook B8. 3-4-5, 3-4-5. This is a wild game. This is a very wild game. Sicilians are like this. And what's up, MD Knight? Zach the King. Yeah. Hey, this is a wild game, guys. Wow, rook B8. Knight to D2 is the idea of Knight C4 and rook D1. Very active pieces is what he's saying. I want to be very active instead of doing passive defense like this. B3 should be 4 check too. Is annoying. Knight D2, rook takes B4, Knight C4. He checked, hitting with a check. And here's where it happened. After King F1, this man played Knight G4. Oh my goodness! I knew something was gonna happen here. I knew it. I was like looking at this, and I stopped, and I was like, well, first thing I'm looking at is does rook takes work? That's the first thing you're looking at. Can I take this and get away with it? But at the end of the day, he always runs away at King E2, and your bishop is not a bishop yet. If this bishop is outside the pawn chain, depending on where it is, rook takes could definitely be a move. But he played Knight G4 and sacrificed the exchange. I think the line goes Knight takes, rook takes. This is obvious, King here. And I think you just take it with the idea of bishop check. I mean, look at this compensation. Bishop C5 is very, very strong. Your king's in a kind of a box. If you go rook H3, I check you, and then go Knight F2. So you have to be careful. Vice square bishop looks sad. Yeah, this bishop is not even a piece, right? Bishop is garbo. And wait till the rest of the game, too, right? So let's go back. So Knight G4 happens. He goes F3. Raja is like, none of that. You're not about to put me on a poster, my guy. Not today. Bruh. So he goes rook F2 and then king to G1. And bishop C5, still trying to put this man on a poster, on a stretcher. Sheesh, this is a nasty move, bro. Like, bishop C5 and we live. And he takes on G4 because there's like mate threats almost. I mean, I think rook takes F3 is basically mating. I think, right? 93. Rook takes, yeah, that's like mate. That's a nuts mate. So he takes on G4 to get rid of that. So now I have some squares for my king. Rook to F4 check, attacking the knight. He blocks with the knight. Like blocking with the knight. Like literally blocking with my knight. Like, purposely. I'm gonna block it with my face on purpose. Bruh. On purpose, because that's how he wants to block it. Bishop takes E3 and then King H2. I think he felt that this was better, but King H2 I just thought was just better. This was a fancy move. I think it's just fancy. It is a fancy move. After takes, rook takes, I guess he gets the bishop, right? And honestly, I mean, this was brilliant to say the least after the next few moves. Because after rook takes, because this is like weird. You got the bishops here, obviously you got this pressure here, but when he takes, I mean, I'm sure he probably calculated this, but look at the bishops, right? Look at the bishop's dominance. The difference in the bishops was huge here. So that 93 was some real COE, which is calculation over everything, which leans, shop cantymerge.com, right? That's crazy. COE was he was very, very nice with that because many people flip the board here. Many people would just go, yo, I'm just gonna sidestep you. Why would I go 93? You know what I'm saying? Like King H2, I can just get out of the way. But he went 93, and I thought that was a very, very nice sequence. Very, very nice sequence. Instead of just stepping out of the way like majority of us would. 93 takes, rook takes, and takes, and takes. Check. He goes for the heels right. And look at these pieces. Now, of course, engine say this equal. But this don't look equal, bro. 500. Thanks for the content, says infinitum. Thanks, man. Thanks for 500 bits. Yes, so this looks crazy, right? This looks scary. This opposite color bishop. You still haven't moved this. I mean, doesn't the position look the same if the bishop... If I do this with the bishop, right, it looks like the bishop's gone. I mean, it is in a corner, but this is the same position if the bishop is on the board or off the board, bro. Like, that's how bad your bishop is, right? So, bishop b7. Oh, wow, that's cute. Oh, okay, you did something. No, you didn't. Bruh. It still looks garbage. It hurts. You can only put the king on c8, though. I mean, that's something, right? Bishop c5, rook e8. Light square strategy. Everything on light squares, but that's really bad for my bishop. Bishop d6, check, king c8, bishop b5. This is a very strong move because now you can't even push the pawn. You can't even get this bishop off of e5 right now. You can't do anything. Rook g4, trying to put the rook on e4. Rook f1, trying to go rook f7. Right? He takes, and then king g1. Look at the eval bar say. The eval bar going nuts. Because after rook e4, right, the move is what, chat? Let's see who was watching the broadcast. Who was watching when everybody went crazy? What was he supposed to play? Do you remember here? Let's flip the board. Let's flip the board. Raja's move, Rajabov, and he's winning. You see the engine like, bro, this is a wrap. Start a new one, my guy. Start a new one. Rook f7, rook f7, bishop h2, bishop h2. Okay. Here it is, right? The move here that wins is bishop h2. Bishop h2. Oh, snap. That's crazy. Everybody was saying bishop h2. And even Richard Rapport after the game said that's crazy that the engine actually went down there. But I think it's bishop h2, right? Yeah, bishop h2 is the move, too. And it's crazy the engine, like, went down a lot. But bishop h2 is move number one. Because bishop h2 cannot stop what they said, rook f7, right? Rook e7, sorry, runs into rook check, and you get mated here on b7. But the problem here is that you can't do anything. You can't move this rook b8, right? Engine gives rook d8, and then rook f7. Wow. All right, literally, they're saying give it up. Your position is so bad. And now this says something. I mean, this is the strangest thing I've ever seen. Look how the engine says that this is playable. I mean, okay, you know what? I get it because he has pawns. Look how many pawns he got. And I'm going to get this one too. I'm going to get a2 as well. But I mean, White's going to play this forever. And if we end up with rook and bishop versus rook, usually, okay, look, that's supposed to be a draw, right? It's supposed to be a draw. But the reason why we say supposed to be is because I've seen Magnus Carlsen mate Svidler. That's the first time I've seen it over the board. First time I've seen it in a YouTube video. You can even Google it. Magnus Carlsen, Svidler mated him with the rook and bishop, and I was like, oh, I thought it was a win before I knew that it was draw. But I thought it was a win because everybody always loses to this rook and bishop versus rook. But it's definitely hard to defend that. So, but here Raja plays rook f7, and it's literally a draw now. Like, that's it. That was his chance. And in chess like this, especially high level chess, I mean, you only get that one chance. You only get that one chance, and when it's gone, it's gone. It's gone. And bishop h2 was the move. Bishop h2, that's his chance to get a dub. And he said since 2019 he hasn't won a classical game. So I mean, I'm assuming maybe candidates or something like that, like because I'm sure he's didn't won. I mean, hopefully he won some classical games. I hope he did. But 20. They were saying like he needed to win basically. So, and this was his chance. He missed it here. Tough game, right? And these were the draws. These were the drawn games. Now we had two decisive results today. In fact, what we're going to look at is the AGRRESSIVE and Fabi game. This game right here was absolutely a stunner, a killer game. D4 knight or knight f6, right? C4 e6, and then we got the Catalan stuff. So we've seen bishop b4 check was somebody won with this. I forgot. Bishop b4 check, but you also have the d5 lines where Fabi plays very objective chess, very solid chess, very just good chess. That boy played great. We know that. Bishop e7, developing Queen's Gambit style, very easy development. You don't even have to think about this really, especially for French players, right? As well to play the French and stuff like this. Queen's Gambit decline. You do the same thing. You play c5. I mean, it's very easy to play. You don't even need to know theory. You just play the center move that makes sense, but the bishop is the bad piece that you have to probably end up developing this way. All right, so c5 castles, c takes d4. We trade. So we want to create some weaknesses. Open up the c file. That's what it's for. Knight c6. If you take, you help me open the b file. You strengthen my center. And trades are going to be fine for me. He said, cool, I'll take the knight. C file open. We still got to develop. Totally fine. Knight takes d5. Black can isolate the pawn, but he's giving up the bishop here to do so. And this pawn is easily defended by bishop to e6. We also have dynamicism. You have light squares around your queen, or light square weaknesses around the king now. Bishop e6. I may be able to sacrifice this pawn in some cases. So it doesn't go for rook to d1. Bishop f6 hits the queen. Very smart move. Very reroute. You see, probably didn't do anything like objectively risky. It was very objective, solid chess from the beginning. Very solid chess. E6, d5, bishop e7, castle, c5. All makes sense. Take. Cool. Knight c6 develop. Take, because we wanted to trade. Trades will favor me. I can also use the c file. Take the pawn back because I need to. Bishop f6. This piece is better on f6 than it was on e7. Kind of hinders your development too of this bishop at least. Very, very step. Fabi's a beast. Absolutely. I mean, look at how easy he makes it look though, right? Bishop d7. Get the piece out the back ring. What a strong move. Also, tactically defending, like strong. Rook coming to c8. Queen b6 is another idea. Knight d2. Queen e7. Time to connect the rooks. And maybe I put the queen on c5 or b4. Maybe knight b4. Great position for Fabi out the opening. Knight to f3. And I think they were criticizing Firouzja, saying this is not even in his repertoire. He don't even really play this, right? And so it was kind of like tough for him this whole game. And I think they said he wasn't comfortable the entire game. And him, meaning Firouzja. Queen e7, knight f3, rook c8, e4 with e5 intentions here. So if you move the knight e5, you're going to lose. So in fact, e5 played by Fabi. Attacking the queen, sweet move. Queen h5. I think this was the move they criticized, was the e4 move. And the knight b4. I mean, look at the activity of my pieces versus white's activity. It's not there. Look at the bishops. Well, this one's not that good. And this one's not that good. Interesting. What's your take on what's going on with Firouzja? I mean, Firouzja is his first candidate. That's what it is. It's just his first candidates and lack of experience. I think that's the only thing. Once he has more experience, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be it's going to be very scary, I think, for the rest of the field. And this is just what my take is. If Firouzja really, takes this, internalizes it, understands this is my first candidate. I mean, I'm sure Fischer, I don't remember his stats, but I think from what I remember, Fischer didn't do great either, his first one. So it is what it is, right? Like first one. Oh yeah, like, oh, you're getting smashed. Yeah, but it's my first one. Wait till the second, or the third, or the fifth, or the 20th, however many. But his first candidates. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not even 20 yet. Bruh. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what it is. That's what I think it is for him. I think it is. So okay, the bishop to g5. Oh, he captured, and then h6. You got to play that, and knight to f3. He moved that boy back. So what's going on? Fischer was like 10, right? It felt like it back, basically. Who you rooting for, Canty? Honestly, my two picks. My first is Hikaru Nakamura, and then second was Fabi. Those were my two. And then my third actually was Firouzja. Those were in order. Hikaru, Fabi, and Firouzja. All right, so knight f3, knights to back to c6. Rook takes d7. This was the problem. This was a huge problem, they said. And also after rook takes, queen takes, bishop h3, right? We hit this situation. He tries to sack with this cool little, I try to do this too. My coach, we work with this sometimes. Sometimes you don't have to go for this, right? The engine says a3, which you don't want to need to. I mean, I don't really want to play that. Knight h4 is definitely tempting. But rook takes d7, right? It's not necessary, and I've done this in my own games. I'm sure we all have probably some games where you haven't. You just do something that really isn't necessary, and against a player of Fabi's strength, it needs to be calculated. CLE calculation over everything. Chat. We talk about that all the time, but we need to know that this got to be right, and if it's not right, it's a wrap. Rook takes d7, queen takes, and the problem here is that Fabi can get out of this. How do you get out of it, chat? Do you know how? This is a sweet combination. If you were watching it, then of course, cool, you know. But if you don't, if you haven't seen this, how do you get out of this? He is hitting the diagonal, obviously, and the queen and rook. Did we just give him the exchange back, or like what? What do we do? Dominic says f5. F5, E5. F5, queen F8, meaning E8 from Not Swindle, which is correct. F5 is correct. Great job, chat. If bishop takes F5, you go queen to E8. No, sorry, queen E7. If queen E8 now, I was looking at bishop G6, but I guess you just move the queen to E7. I'm assuming. Yeah, it's probably just a little shake and bake, stick and move, a little maneuver and get out the way. There's still some stuff there. Bishop F5, rook D8, queen G6, rook F6, check, king F7. What I just said there is here, here. I was still calculating here, but I think I just go here and just run for the hills. But now it's equal, so I messed up something there. But okay, so what is the sequence now if that happens? I'm curious. Now I'm gonna check with the engine here because I'm curious to see what that was. Queen E7, bishop F5, correct. Correct. Rook C D8, correct. Queen G6. Queen F6. Oh, it's just Queen F6. Queen F6, interesting. Fine stream, so I got a fire stream. So glad I picked up chess. Chili soup, man. Thanks. Welcome, bro. Glad you picked up chess too, bro. Welcome to the stream. Queen F6, check, and King F7. We're doing candidates recap right now. Doing a recap of round 6, and then we're getting back to our regular schedule programming, guys. We are fundraising today. Every dollar counts here for Urban Arts as we help the kids. All right, so King F7. After King F7, oh yeah, I can go like King E7. I think Rook H8. I'm good to go. This is like GG. Knight H4, yeah, because he got to get something on G6. Okay, so he didn't go for that, but he took with the pawn. But then taking with the pawn, like I'm just up in exchange. I'm assuming Caruana won this. Watch this, right? Rook E8, Knight H4. It goes E4. You didn't get to see the game? Well, you get to see it now, big fella. Rook to D1, hitting the queen. Obviously, we got to move those, so he goes to F7. Fabi is up in exchange. Fabi up in exchange, bro. Fabi up a clean one right now, bro. Hey, my guy, Firouzja, it did not work. It did not work. The exchange, he sacked the exchange, and you're supposed to get it back or have some real compensation, and it's not looking like that. It is not looking like that. Queen E2, he takes on A2. So now if you get the exchange back, I stole a little pawny pool as well. So, I mean, there's some other stuff. This is kind of scary, bro. Your pieces don't look good. They're both hitting the same pawn. What are they doing? What are those? Knight G6, Rook F7, I get out the way. I mean, what's the bishop doing? He want to be over here, but he over there. But he want to be here, but he's over there. Right? So, it's problematic. Knight to F4. Not a move, says the engine. Queen back to B3. I mean, that's an accurate move, bro. I mean, like, so accurate, you know? There's so many moves you can make. And Fabi's one of the greatest at this, in fact. But the accuracy. Queen to B3. Out of all the moves you can make, the man plays queen to B3. Very, very strong move. With the idea of E3. But yet, I mean, let's see. How long did it take him to play that move too as well? It took him 3 minutes, and he played queen to B3. Super strong. I mean, you don't really have many choices too, though. 96 is kind of annoying. You can't go here. What else would be a candidate move? Maybe queen A4. E3 immediately is definitely something I would play. I'm a big fan of doing stuff right now. Like, oh, okay, sack first, think later, right? Grandfather town. But queen B3 sets it up. Bishop to G4 with bishop H5 intentions. And then Fabi says, all right, let's go for a big fella E3. Pawn takes is going to be next too as well. I'm curious to know, okay, tactics-wise, if bishop H5 anyway, I take, I'm sure you have to take with the queen. I don't see it. I don't see it. Let's check it out. Bishop h5. Anyway, what happens? Get out of here. I can just take this? Oh my goodness, because it's the... Wow, you gotta be... Yo, you see that? Get out of here. Get out of here. You can't take the rook. What on earth, boy? COE. Jeez, calculate, bro. Just, I mean, that's nuts, bro. If bishop h5, you take, queen has to take, and you can just move the rook. Because you can't take the rook because of d1. Wow. Beautiful. Okay, so go back then to where we were. After e3, he gets out the way and says king to g2. So he goes king g2, rook d8. And I think this is what they said he missed. Which, I mean, he down in exchange anyway, but rook d8 is beautiful. Gets out of the way. None of that check stuff anymore. Bishop h5 was a real threat. That's why he plays rook d8. Right, okay, rook takes, knight takes d8, pawn takes e3, and then rook to c7, which is winning. Just completely winning. Everything's winning. It does take some precision. King h3, knight f7 with knight g5. You can see Firouzja was definitely frustrated here, but he fought just for as long as he could. Bishop f4, knight, rook c2 first, then knight g5 to follow. Pieces are starting to get into play. This is when the time when Jan was coming over, bro. Did y'all see the meme so far, bro? With Jan's face when he was looking at the game? Jan coming over and just staring and looking at the game with the facial expressions of disgust. Of like, bro, what is this? How did you get here, my guy? What are those? What is he doing? Send the stretcher, all that other stuff, bro. It was so funny. It was very animated faces that he made when he saw this game because of, he didn't expect to see this. King g4, knight takes f4, queen d8 check, h7, and he takes on f3. All right, so what did he do here? I think he took on b2. Yeah, and then he took on h2. So this is check. So that's a perpetual. Don't hang up perpetual. Let's check him first. We played queen f6. So did the check? I mean, we could have, but it didn't matter. This is a lot of people would still lose this game, believe it or not. This is not that clean, right? You got work to do. But he took on h2, and the reason being is if e5, I just take. Pushing a pawn hangs one. So you can't actually push it. So Fabi said, cool. I'll just take one on the way out then. That's not threatening this, right? Knight e6 could be a threat. Tricky stuff. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Queen c3 check. Make sure everything's forced. If king g4, there's an h5. I think, right? Can you play h5? No, the queen needs to be like further down, I think, first. What did he play? Queen d2? And then queen a4. And he resigned when Fabi got back to the board because Fabi was like, I think he left after this and he just resigned. Reason being, after an h5, if knight takes, that's a simple move, queen check. Picking up the knight. Easy one. Right? And if king g5, you have queen d8 check, which is ridiculous. I remember seeing this. Somebody showed this out, and then f6 and mate. A little strange mate. Very strange. Very strange. Swag Master, thanks for the follow. Very strange. Tough game. Tough game for Firouzja though. I played great. And honestly, I mean, it was nothing, didn't do anything spectacular. The critical moment was like right here. Let's go back. Take. Here it's still equal, and they like black slightly, but not enough to say anything, right? Thanks for the 50 bits, bro. Fabi appears to be in excellent form this tournament. Where I said he is exhibiting highest level precision. I'm rooting for my fellow countrymen, the U.S. #1, go Fabi. I'm rooting for Hikaru first, and then Fabi second. Fabi's my second choice, but definitely rooting for the boy Fabi too. So h6, knight f3, knight c6. This right here was the turning point. And flipping the board, you don't have to play rook d7. And that's what got him in trouble there. That was like instantly like good for black. Instantly. All right, let's look. I'm not a fan of a3, but I understand. Thanks for the follow food. I understand a3 because I don't want anything crashing into b4 and c2. I also do want to play rook c1, but I don't like knight b4. But this is hanging. What about rook? No. Wait a second. Hmm. Bishop h3? My bishop's bad, but then that's kind of a draw, maybe? It's not good either. Take queen b4. He's like, I don't want to draw. So I understand. Okay, whatever. Interesting. All right, well, let's look at the last one. And this one was Jan and Duda. Boy. This game was something special. Y'all guys seen this one? Knight f3, d5, and this was a King's Indian attack. Right. Very easy to play. Very easy to play. Knight f3, bishop g2, casting right, play h3, put the pawn on d4 or d3. You can play both ways. A very flexible opening. And I thought this was sweet, bro. This was actually really sweet on how he played this. I think this is really cool for you to actually learn and play yourself. Like, this was really cool. I mean, he kind of, like, in a way, it felt like he played off the head. It really felt to me that, like, maybe this was prep, but this just felt like off the head. I mean, this doesn't even come up on the engine, right? All the moves here are knight c3, knight h4, and some other ones. He plays knight e5. That's just like an off the head move is what I call that. Like, you found that right now. You know, you did not prep this. Like, that's a right now move. And the King's Indian attack gives you the flexibility to do that, but you also need to be strong to do this. Good enough. I like this 95 move. Like, you also have f4, g4, like expanding later. Takes, and you make it very strange. Knight d2. This is a strange position right now. And I always like white already because I can just steamroll. Like, look at this. Bro, look at these, right? These pawns are beautiful. And I mean, what are yours doing? Like, okay, nobody cares about none of this. It's not it looks great, but like them pawns though, exactly. I can put g4, f4, e4, f5, everything 4, then everything 5. And we live, like, easy. Bishop c5, for me, that's an automatic king move. Automatic. But in fact, he made it an automatic rook move, which I like. That's with tempo. Queen e7, okay, attacking. Oh, not really. Rook takes c5 is a thing. You like to think can. All right. Can't see why the king pawns on white are better than queen pawns on black. I mean, they're not. It depends on the position. Black instantly on defensive. Yeah. But not really on the defensive. Bishops are out. I mean, like, it's equal, but you like white because of the flexibility, and you can see the potential that white has as opposed to black. Like, flip the board. Look at black's potential. Like, where is black's potential at? Where? When you know that white is about to push your muffin cap back blue, bro. Like, you can't even stop this. You can't even stop this. You can't even stop. That's scary. I don't know where he went wrong, but, like, I would just never play this again. I would just never play this again as black. It's a clear plan for white. And you gonna castle this way with a rook on the c file? Man, dude, this is rough. And it feels like he did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong. White just got a good position. King h2. He steps out the way. Here we go. There go one. There go two. All right, queen e1. I mean, this was easy. He didn't do anything spectacular. Move your pieces to the side where you're strong on. Queen g3. h4. I mean, this was just textbook. Like, easy. Textbook. He put the queen over here, put the pawns up, and just hope for, and Hail Mary, right? g5, and we live. Takes, and f5. This was probably one of the easiest games I have ever seen in a high-level game. I mean, look at what Jan did, right? Count the move. Like, just look at what happened, right? Look at what he did. From the beginning, this was strange. So he played 95. Okay, after you get over these, plan. Get the king out the way. Push everything. Push everything. Queen over. Push everything. Push. Like, push everything and you just win. And you just win. E6. What a move. Wow, something was better. Rook c3. Rook c3. That's crazy. What do they want? Rook e3, queen h5, check, king g1. Oh, that's too much. That line is ridiculous. What is this? Rook c3, queen takes. Wait, what? Now it's, you know what? Ninja be tripping sometimes. I was like +1. So, yeah, as a human, you just play. The e6 is beautiful. I love it. Is Nepo leading the candidates? He is, bro. He is. Pammy J, fundraising, how to donate? Right here. You can use the UA command. Thank you so much, Pammy J, for your support. E6, and then takes, and he played G6, so we won. Okay, we won a piece. Takes, and then he played Rook B1, and then take on B7. All right, thanks so much. 2 double A's with the 7 months. Prime. Let's go. Let's go. I'm so annoyed I've been stuck at work. MD Knight, look, hey, you here with us, man. We looking at candidates. This is the last game of it. We're going to hang out. We're going to have a tournament after this, too, as well. Stick around. And we fundraising tonight, having a ball. If we prove it wrong and won again. Yeah. Okay, so look, rook takes e2. And, all right, white to move here, chat. It's white to move, and I've actually saw this on Facebook. And that's why I'm stopping right here, too, as well. Because they were sending it out like a puzzle. They're like, hey, white to move. What do you do here? And I'm like, bro, we just saw this. Literally, everybody just saw this. But if you haven't seen this, then it is white to move here. What do you do? And it is like, I have to remember, like, and not everyone is watching the candidates right now. So sometimes when I see it, I'm like, bro, we just saw this. I've seen it, and a lot of other people. But some people haven't even seen the game yet. Some people don't even know that the candidates are going on right now. Some people don't even know that. So F5, okay, rook takes F5. Let's go. Help show to anything you can. Thank you, Pana. Rook B8. Exactly, man. Rook B8. We got some rook B8s here. Okay, so the answer actually is rook takes E5. Rook takes F5. Shout out to you. There it is. And after rook takes F5 with queen takes, obviously there's going to be queen takes G7 mate. So we have a check, and then he tuck and roll with the king, getting out of the way. Rook takes with another check. You see the A-Val bar go nuts there. Why? White to move. What did Jan play? Do you guys remember? And if you don't remember, well, of course, then it's for you to calculate right now. COE, calculation of everything. We know that it is white to move. Calculate what did Jan play. And if you don't remember or know, what do you do? What's the command? It's UA. It's command UA quantum. This one right here. There it goes. Probably 3-0. Overnight. We have rook to G5. Rook to H5. Dr. J-Law, what up, bro? Thanks for the raid. Rook H5, Bishop F1. Thanks for the raid, Dr. J-Law. We're looking at this last game here. We're covering something on YouTube right now. If you're watching, you on YouTube right now on the YouTube channel. Because we definitely finishing up this video right now. Dirk, what's up, man? Man, nobody has. I mean, it's almost like none of you guys watched the rest. In fact, guys, he played rook here. He played rook F7. He went rook F7 to go rook F8. There it is. Somebody saw it. I was like, nobody saw the game? Like, was nobody watching this? Rook F7 when he played rook F7? Nobody said it. Except the book's law here. Rook F7 was the move, bro. He said, yeah, we got jobs, bro. You right, Chunky Thunder, my bad. I forgot chess is my job. I did forget that. Sorry, Chunky Thunder. He's like, yo, yeah, people got jobs, bro. Check, and then Bishop F1. So we blocked here. And then after the block, rook F8 is still going to be a nasty move. But he plays D4. Does anyone know what black's threat is? What is black's threat in this position after D4? Does H5 not win? I didn't watch it. I don't know, but we he did not play it. It probably is not the greatest. Queen E3. Okay, Queen D3, Queen E3. Correct. Queen E3 check is the threat. Right? And you only have, I mean, if I get rid of this pawn, you know, this is not that good. And I could be probably the one maybe pressing for more. Not that I'm winning, but I mean, I'm pressing for more. I'm not losing. Now you're the one. It could be losing, right? You're in trouble. So queen e3 is the threat. So rook to g5 to stop queen e3. And then after queen to d6, obviously we're not trading queens. So we move out of the way and making a threat of check. There's another check. There's going to be a mate of king g6. And so you're going to have to block with the queen, which is not going to work. So queen to a3. And just says mate 20. But it's white to move. Okay. What is black's threat? Ask yourself that. What is black's threat? And then find a counter. What is black's threat? And then find the counter. What is it? White to move? What did Jan play in this position? Find the counter. We got to figure out what does black want to do. Okay, so black Chameleon says queen e3. Quantum says rook g3. Rook f5 from Somni. Rook to g3. Jahan Boone, thanks for the follow. Says, okay, wait. Threat is still the queen trade. Rook g3 undermining the queen on the long diagonal. Alright, well, queen to c1. Queen to c1. Well, in fact, the move is rook to g3. And actually, Christoph resigned right here. Like, Duda resigned. Jan Christoph Duda resigned right here. And Jan Nepomniachtchi is out here doing his thing, bro. That man swinging like a big dog would because a big dog could. He's up. I mean, if you look at what do we have a standings like a? Here it is, right? So I have to move this over. Oh, I'm sorry, not that. I have to move this over. So if we move the standings, I wonder if I think I have a. I think there's a thing like results. Here it is. Perfect. So Jan is 4.5, right? And then there's Fabi with 4, and then 3 with Hikaru. That man, Jan is up. Look, Fabi right behind him. And it looked like Fabi is not trying to slow down. But also Jan as well. Not slowing down. So there's a lot of chess left. I mean, this is a lot. But look, there's a rest day tomorrow, guys. So it's fun. And it's exciting. We got a lot of chess left. What day is it? 23rd. Okay, so tomorrow's a rest day. 25th. Wrong. They always do it in threes, right? Yeah. Rest day, 7, 8, 9, rest day, 10, 11, 12, rest day, right? Auburn, thanks for the 5 bits, bro. 5 gifted subs again, my guy. Let's get a command 5 in the chat for that energy. Let's go. Fabi picking up speed. You already know. Yep. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, this is for the YouTube channel, so we just recorded this video. So, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll see you guys on the next one.